Okay, recording. Good. So, looking at this article here, it says Hungary, this is looking at it right here. Hungary issues ultimatum to Ukraine for unblocking 6.5 billion euro in EU weapons aid, and has a picture of their foreign minister, Peter Szijjártó, I guess. I don't know how you pronounce it. Szijjart. Really bad haircut, by the way. Looks like Bert from Bert and Ernie. But in any event, okay, so it's just going through this. So basically, going through the article, what's happening is, so Hungary gets oil from Russia through, transited through Ukraine. It's the only way they can get it, okay? So Hungary is saying they're going to withhold 6.5 billion euro worth of weapons to Ukraine unless Ukraine continues to allow this flow of oil. So this is the problem with the West. It's in the United States. This reminds me of when a few months ago when Biden, who's out now, we might end up with Kamala. It appears it's going to be Kamala, but in any event, jeez, Kamala. Okay. So, but in any event, it reminds me of when Biden a few months ago basically just begged Ukraine not to military attack hit Russian oil refineries. And you got on the other side, you got Trump picks Vance. I don't know. I don't understand that at all. This is not the party of Reagan that I knew and understood and believed in. Reagan, as we recall, in the 1980s, among numerous other things that he did, he basically cut off economic ties to the Soviet Union where he could. Reagan basically just said, okay, let's just find out who has a better economic system then, and we know what happened. The Soviet Union cracked. But that was a Cold War. This is a hot war, so it's a little bit different. But I don't know where that guy went. I'd just love to have Reagan back again. But in any event, let's get back to the article here. Hungary will continue to block the $6.5 billion program to finance military assistance to Ukraine under the European Peace Facility until Kiev resumes Russian oil supplies, according to Hungarian Foreign Minister Peter Szijjártó, the guy whose name I have no idea how to pronounce. According to him, the energy supply of Hungary and Slovakia is at risk, as roughly a third to 45% of their crude oil imports come from the Russian Likud oil company, with the oil transiting through Ukraine. This is a problem with the West. We don't know how to win wars anymore. This is I can't imagine during World War II anybody saying, you know what, we're at war with Germany, Italy, Japan, but let's just not rock their economy any. It's so stupid. Szijjártó emphasized that the EU-Ukraine Association Agreement clearly states that Ukraine cannot completely or partially interrupt the transit of energy resources through its territory to EU countries. Well, they could if Hungary just, said, you know what, that's the agreement, but we're going to allow you to block the oil. In his opinion, it will be difficult for the European Commission to support Ukraine on this issue. However, Hungary will not limit itself to a complaint to the EU. I made it clear that until this issue is resolved by Ukraine, this is Szijjártó speaking again, I made it clear that until this issue is resolved by Ukraine, everyone should forget about the $6.5 billion compensation for weapon supplies from the European Peace Facility, etc., etc., etc. This is just absolutely mind-numbing stuff. We're the world leaders who just go to their population and say, look, folks, oh, by the way, Hungary, that was invaded by the Soviet Union, as we know from history, that was 4 years before I was born, invaded by the Soviet Union in 1956. I guess they forgot what it was like watching tanks roll through the streets. We're the world's leaders who just, go to their populations and say, hey folks, you know what? Russia invaded Ukraine. and we're all going to step up, and it's going to be a sacrifice. Yeah, price of gas is probably going up a couple of bucks. You just do that. Instead of saying that, they insult their own populations by assuming that their populations won't understand. If you had a world leader who does that, the population will understand. They definitely will understand. Some won't agree, but they would all understand, and they would all respect that leader for just being straight with them like that. It's what Churchill would do, I'm sure of it. We will fight in the, however that famous quote went, we will fight on the land and on the air and on the sea. Churchill, in not so many words, is just telling, the Brits, hey, this is going to be a bitch. We got the greatest generation that, landed on Normandy. Amongst numerous other things, during World War II, people had trouble even finding tires for their car. But we're afraid of, the price of gas going up a couple of bucks. That's what Biden was afraid of when he was he was begging Ukraine not to hit Russian oil refineries a few months ago. This is just mind-numbing stuff. Glenn Beck, I remember, he said something to the effect, how come we don't win wars anymore? Because we don't commit to winning them. That's why. You go all in. It's just mind-numbing stuff. So frustrating. We're probably spending, I have no way of proving this, obviously, but I mean, it's, hindsight, what would have happened had we done something different, but just a theory, it's at least possible. We're spending more on, the United States and Europe is spending more on supporting Ukraine than we would have if we'd have just gone all in and got it over with. We dilly-dally. Unbelievable.